Hey everyone, thank you for joining us on this super busy Thanksgiving week. We want to say welcome to the 2023 Best Year Trifecta. And I am joined here with two other coaches who I'm going to introduce in just a moment. But we just want to say that the purpose of our live is to give you some things that you could do right now to have your best 2023 ever. We have a lot of pieces to the pie, right? A lot of things that we want to get done. But what if we share with you today some things that can move you to make progress towards your success, actual progress that you could take home today and do? That would be amazing, right? So, if that's you, you're in the right place. So, hang on. We're only going to take about 15 minutes of your time. If you guys could do us a favor, if you guys can like and share this video, this live right now, so that other people can benefit from the same things that you're going to benefit from. We will be so forever grateful to you guys. So let me introduce you to the two amazing people that I have joined forces with. First, we're going to hear from Daryl Gurney, who is a Chief Empowerment Optimistic. He is an executive business and career advisor, speaker, workshop facilitator, author, and licensed spiritual counselor. Founder of CareerGuide.com and TheBack40.com, Daryl coaches individuals to achieve their highest self-expression and presents to professional, trade, and community groups, as well as MBA programs and university alumni organizations nationwide. He is known for his commitment to supporting individuals in creating and living their best life now. That is something that we all want, right? So I'm going to hand it over to Daryl. Make sure that you guys got a notepad and pen because you guys are going to get some bombs that you are guys going to want to implement right away. Daryl, go right ahead.
Okay, I'm pulling out my bomb arsenal. Hi everyone. I am Daryl, like Dawnette said, and I'm going to speak for myself as well as Dawnette and Maria, because I think everything I'm going to be like sharing here is something that we can all relate to. And when it comes to next year being your best year ever, a question I have is, first off, did you play big this year? Did you play big in 2022? And are you planning to play big next year? And you might go, I don't know. I don't know. Did I play big? I want to offer one thing to make 2023 your best year ever is to take those someday and one day dreams and goals out of the someday, which we never really get to category, and actually put them there, put them in 2023. And I want to propose that we play with our dreams and goals in 2023 versus how our dreams and goals generally show up inside of, well, first off, they don't show up, right? Because they're someday, one day goals. And I want to propose that that's probably because most of us, grew up in an old industrial age mindset. That's what I call it, where, we have to do things right. We have to do things perfectly. We can't make mistakes. We don't want to take risks, especially if you're like midlifer or something like that. It's like, you don't want to fall on your face and look like you don't know what you're doing. And therefore, that book that you've always wanted to write goes unwritten. It doesn't even go unwritten. There's no even actions taken towards it, or that nonprofit that you've been wanting to set up, or the business that you've thought about for so long, or that career change, or that fitness program. We can go on, but I venture to say, and I'm guilty of this too, and that's why I'm speaking what I'm speaking, is that left to our own devices, we will have that old industrial age mindset keep us from taking any actions, getting out on the playing field, because don't want to fall on our face, don't want to risk, don't want to make commitments that we can't fulfill on. I want to propose that we play next year. And when I say play, I mean it's a different model. Instead of the industrial age model, I call it the play game model. And that's where we get out on the playing field. We support each other to get out on the playing field. And we don't worry about making mistakes, but we start playing and give ourselves the opportunity to learn. Kind of like when we were kids. We played, we didn't know, we learned as we go, right? So that's number one, 2023, be playing. Second thing for 2023 is clean up those regrets. My most recent book came out this several months ago. It's called The Back 40, 7 Essential Embraces to Launch Life's Radical Second Half. And one of those embraces is about our values and how we look at like if we were going to be gone next week, we don't know it. We don't know when we're going to be off this planet. But I say a lot of people leave the planet with a lot of regrets because they don't take action while they're healthy and able-bodied. And again, I would propose that what can make 2023 your best year ever is to play for no regrets. And one of the big ways to do that, I say, is by getting those someday, one day goals into action. And the last thing I would offer to consider for the coming year is to get around to it. And what does that mean? That means, it says you have now been given the ability to get around to it. And I'd love to send you one of these, but the point being is this 2023 can be the year if you put yourself into a play game mindset, affiliate and associate yourselves with others who are bringing those someday, one day goals into today, and enjoy the becoming and the mastery you grow inside of playing versus that old industrial age mindset that keeps us fixed and stuck. So that's what I'd like to offer to play bigger this year. And if you'd like to hear more about that, I have a whole lot of information right here at a bit.ly. It's bit.ly/BF Big Game. BF stands for the Back 40. And I hope you got something out of that.
Daryl, that was great. I have a question. What do you think blocks us? So we play, right? You said we play, we get involved. Where does our playing stop in life? And what do you think is blocking us from continuing to play? We kind of go out on the sidelines and never jump back in.
Yeah, I think as we get older, society tells us we're supposed to be wise. We're supposed to have grown in wisdom. We're supposed to know what we're doing, and we have this, kind of pretense, which actually has our world get smaller because we don't want to look like don't know what we're doing, right? And so I think the more, look, 20-year-olds are the ones creating the big tech firms and all that because they're playing. They're not worried about falling on their face. So that to the degree that we can brainwash ourselves, like wash our brain of the way we have lived to place, smaller and smaller so we don't take risks and don't look stupid. Like, I think I'm of the opinion that your second half can be your best half and that the first half of life was just R&D, research and development for who you came here to be. So it's training ourselves, and we can only do it with others because left to our own devices, we're going to stay safe. Playing with others and supporting each other to play.
That's great. Maria, do you have any questions?
Yeah, that was great, Daryl. I loved talking about the play was wonderful. And I heard you say that, clean up the regrets and get into those someday goals. So how it really seems like as those two come together that you will be able to get to that goal and actually get to it. What are some ways that we can kind of bring together the regret and the someday goals so we can kind of get to it and take action?
Well, I think first, a lot of times people don't actually take the time to think about what would it be like if I were out of here next week. We live like it's just gonna, keep going, same old, same old. There's actually a great exercise in here that actually takes you deep, has you actually look to see if you left, what are those things that you've left behind? And I think a lot of it is awareness. So first getting aware of what it is you've been putting off, because, you hear from people who've had heart attacks and it's like they say, you hug people more, You do those things that you've thought about doing so much more because you came close to being out of here. So I think what there is to do is for together for all of us to develop, I call it heart attack awareness without the heart attack, and actually come together again, because we won't do it on our own, come together to share what those one day goals and dreams are and be that cheering section for each of us to move forward. Because when you co-create with others, stuff can happen that never would have happened by ourselves.
That's very true. So, what is one thing they can do today to start moving towards that?
One thing today is to actually list out the someday one day goals. Like, get very clear. Put down 10 things. For me, I got a lot more. But, put down at least 10 that you've been thinking about. And I just really encourage and invite everyone, pick one. Pick one and begin to imagine 2023 with that goal moving forward. I didn't say it's going to be perfect. I didn't say it's going to get done right away, but we can't move anything forward until we get clear about it and start taking action in that direction.
That's awesome. And I think a lot starts with just writing things down, right? We have to be aware of it, write it down, make a plan, and execute it on it. So that was really great. I hope you guys got some good notes off of that. Let me introduce you to Maria Mizzi. She is a nutritional and mindset coach who supports women who are overwhelmed with strict diets and want to stop the confusion about what to eat and finally live a healthy life with ease. Maria helps her clients discover what they're really hungry for by working with them not only on the health of their bodies, but also mindset and self care to create a lifestyle they love, to get back their energy, lose weight, and feel confident in their own skin. This is like everybody's dream, right? This is all the rage, and people are going to be setting their goals for this exact thing in 2023. So, Maria, tell us how we get there.
Oh my gosh, absolutely. You're so right. And the great thing about this is making these changes, it's all about creating new habits, right? Also, it's about creating and changing some of habits that you have. So if we have old habits that haven't been serving us, this is probably your kind of first step into really seeing that change for the new year. And specifically, some of those negative habits that we have often is we're hearing naysayers or other people's saying things of what we should do or where we should get to in regard to our health and our weight loss. So, really starting to think about what it is that you want. It's really important to have the confidence and understand what it is that you need for your body, and really learning to appreciate the food that we are eating and what we do have. A lot of times we're talking about making food changes, so understanding that and realizing that what I have found doing this for 20 years, that being healthy is a lifestyle change. It's not just a diet. That's the reason why we're all here together, because it's a little bit of everything. But really getting that lifestyle change and getting healthy is important. It's a great foundation for everything else that we want to do in life. As you get into that position of changing and breaking those old habits, the mindset part is it's really important for us to look at those difficult emotions that we may have been just kind of holding on to and maybe bring them out and address them. A lot of times we're stuck in an emotion, and one of the things that we do to soothe ourselves is we have a food that we love to have. We may not even be aware of it. A lot of times it's something that we do mindlessly, and I'll share a little bit of that as well. And it's also important to understand that you deserve a healthy lifestyle. You deserve this lifestyle change in 2023 that you can feel your best from here on out, so you know what to do. And as you're going through that, don't be afraid to ask for help or let people know what you're doing. A lot of times that really helps us in getting to our goals. Now, I have 7 ways that I love to share with people on ways to create that permanent change in your lifestyle, especially in your health. And I'm going to share 3 of them with you quickly. And the first one, you've probably heard this one before. We need to explore the reasons why we are where we are. So a lot of that is sometimes we're writing it down. Maybe we're speaking to someone so we can start to understand that. We can do that on our own as well. There's several ways you can understand, why do I want this change in 2023, and why in 2023 are we actually going to get there? Because we're going to know why. One way you could do that is taking some time to meditate, just be in your space, and just kind of hear the messages of what is going on in your mind and your body. Writing it down, journaling is a great way to do that. Another great way is maybe talking, having a support group, maybe having a therapist or a coach to really help you uncover the reasons why you're going to get there, so you stick to that transformation in your health this year. And that brings me to the second point that I love to share in one of the 7 ways to create permanent change is, once you make that decision and you've understand your why and you've really gone through that, stick to your guns. Really allow yourself to be there and make those changes. What happens sometimes is we might allow our emotions to get in the way. Sometimes even social obligations might get in our way, or a lot of other reasons. So really having that awareness of what's going on with my emotions to allowing me to make these food choices that I'm going to make. And really listening to yourself. This is another mindset focus. Listen to yourself on the things that you want to do. Stay connected to your emotions and maybe start understanding that. That might be something that you want to dive deeper into, working with a coach or doing some journaling. And then really don't overthink it. As you get into these changes, especially when we're talking about health and making changes in your diet, keep it simple and don't overthink it, especially in the beginning. Now, the third one that I'm going to share with you is one that's near and dear to me, is eating mindfully. Now, I say this because I know old habits are difficult to change. I mean, we eat every day, right? And most often when we're eating, we're not paying attention to what we're eating. We're doing that oftentimes mindlessly. So I invite you to take time to be a little bit more mindful with your eating and really allow yourself to regain that freedom in what you're eating. Maybe, you have some old habits from childhood that are still working on the daily with how you're eating your food, making those food choices. So maybe take a moment to think about that and eating mindfully, because we're often not paying attention to what we're eating. And then I invite you to make gradual changes, right? Don't try to change everything overnight. Don't let it be January 1st and you're just going to change the whole thing and you're just going to eat this and this. Do this gradually. I have found that gradual change means permanent change. For example, something really simple, you sit down in front of your plate of food and just take 10 seconds to pay attention to what's on your plate. Take a look at those foods that are actually there and just be grateful for that. That is a victory. So there is your small gradual change that you can make. So as you're going through this, make small gradual changes. And remember, being mindful at any moment is a victory. Just being mindful that you're that you're not eating mindlessly is being mindful. You get what I'm saying, right? So those are kind of the 3 ideas I wanted to share with you today.
Maria,
Right.
those were fantastic. Wow. One question on that came up in my mind because you talked a lot about emotions. Do you feel like we're emotional eaters, and why do we even eat what we eat?
Yes, absolutely. So there's a few reasons why our emotions kind of get in the way. The first one I find is boredom. We're bored. We're not thinking. We're somewhere else. So if we're bored, we usually want to satisfy ourselves with something that is flavorful. So we'll pick our favorite food. The second emotion that comes up often is anger. Like we're mad, we're not feeling good. So now what do we want to do? We want to soothe ourselves with something that might feel good in the moment. And then the last one is anxiety, right? We're anxious, we're stressed, and then we just mindlessly eat as well.
And I have a question, Maria. So you talked about a therapist and a coach can support you in this lifestyle change. Where does team or your environment support you as well? Because I only, speaking for myself, if I go to change a habit just by myself, it's, I've got to remember. And
Yes.
so I guess my question is, where does team or where does support, how does one really change their lifestyle on their own?
Yeah, great question. Absolutely. And it's normally very challenging to do something like that. So you do want to have the support of the people that are around you, your family, your loved ones, your coworkers. It is important to have that so you have somebody to speak to. If you're doing this alone, you do want to reach out to somebody who can give you an idea. It could be a support group. It could be a friend or family. So yes, you could also do it in that aspect as well.
Wonderful.
And I actually will put my link in there as well. So if you'd like to set up a free coaching call with me, I will offer that here today.
Okay, sorry, my mic did not want to unmute.
That's all right. We handled it. Great job,
Thank you,
Donette.
thank you. I don't know what's going on. I clicked on it like 500 times. That was great. I think that's important, right? Having somebody that holds us accountable. I think Daryl said almost the same thing. Having a partner, having a coach, having someone come alongside of us, because left to our own devices, we don't do it. It's a fact
Yes.
of life, right?
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Well, for those of you who don't know me, let me do this real quick. All right. So, for those of you that don't know me, my name is Donette Palmore, and I am a money coach. And I empower professional and entrepreneurial women to gain clarity, control, and confidence with their finances so they can run a thriving business, live a financially stress-free life without sacrificing what's important to them. And what I'm going to talk about today can be absolutely applied to anyone. So as a money coach, I see some of the same things that Daryl and Maria see. People, I see how people interact with their money beliefs, their habits with money, their relationship with money. This all carries over into different areas of our lives, including our businesses. A lot of this stems from our childhood experiences, society. So today I want to share with you 3 things that you can do today to have better relationship and habits with your money. So cash flow is not only the number one killer of small business, but I would say it's the number one killer of personal finances, right? Because we need the cash flowing or it just doesn't work. We end up uh, supplementing our income per se, supplementing when we overspend by using credit cards, and then we're just in a big mess and we're in a hamster wheel. So, what is the one thing, number one, that you could start doing? Get organized with your finances. And what does that mean? It means to take a look at them, go through those bank statements and your credit card statements, look at them, itemize what's in there, see where your money is going. I know that this sounds really scary and this scary for a lot of people to look at, but it gives you so much power to making lasting financial changes that will not just affect you but generations to come. So get those statements out, just look at them, find out where your money is going. Um, Bringing awareness, I think Daryl said this as well. Um, Once we become aware of something, then we're able to change it. We can't change it if we don't become aware of it or if we just keep it hidden under, swept under the rug, right? We just keep it in its hiding spot. We're never going to make changes and see the things that we want to see come in our life. The next thing, number 2, is to make a plan. This is where all of your power is. This is where you have control because you get to tell your money where you want it to go instead of wondering where it went. Yes, it's going to take some time to initially do it, but I promise you it's going to be well worth it to sit down, go through, and just power it out. This is where you get to dream, you get to set goals, you get to set boundaries, and you get to set boundaries with your spending habits and make sure that you're also including the things that are important to you. Whatever that might be. Maybe it's some time with a girlfriend, maybe it's vacation, maybe it's family time, date night, whatever it is. Make sure that you make a way for those things to happen, even if it's a little bit at a time. You want to make sure you include the things that are important to you. Um, I want to say the spending plan is not about cutting back. I know people have heard, when the budget, I don't call it a budget, I call it a spending plan because it's a plan with our money. But the word budget or has been used to make us feel restricted, and it's like a list of things that we can't do. But when we change our mindset and look at it as a spending plan, then we get to tell our money what we want it to do. We get to say what we want to do. We get to tell it where to go. Um, so it's not about cutting things back. It's actually about setting boundaries around your spending so that you could do all the things that you want to do and do it without guilt, because that's important as well. So if you set $200 aside a month to eat out with your friends, then there's your boundary. But it's also guilt free because you set the money aside to eat with your friends and you don't have to feel bad about it. So, number three, and I think all three of us have said this, get an accountability partner. Studies show that when we have an accountability partner, it increases our chances of success by 95%. That is huge. This could be a significant other, a friend, a coach, a mentor, but you want to make sure it's someone that's going to hold you accountable to what you said you were going to do, not just baby you or enable you. So if you said, oh my gosh, I spent $300 on eating out, they're not going to say, well, that's okay. You deserve it. But, oh, well, now how does that help you towards your goal or away from your goal? And really hold you accountable to the things you said you wanted to do. Quick client story. I had a client who followed these principles. She grew her business by 97% last year. That is huge. I have seen this in people's personal finances. Relationships are healed. Peace, money, when we think about money, can be a source of stress if we don't know where it's going. But I've seen it become a source of peace and joy because they get to tell their money where to go. And it's no longer stressful because they're not overspending and they're able to look at their money with peace. So those are the 3 tips that I have for you guys.
Question, Donette.
Yes.
A lot of times when people talk about budgets or spending plans, which is way healthier than the word budget, like you said, or even think about working with a money coach, I think, because I've been there too, the first thought is, yeah, but I don't have enough money to even, do all of this. Like, what do you mean put in there what's most important to me? I'm already not, having the things that are most important to me. How does doing all that you said, no matter how much you have, impact the flow or even the amount? I guess I'm just wanting, to hear from someone who may not think they even have enough to do that. Is there something in it for them?
Yeah. So what I find is that when we actually become aware of what we're spending and we change our habits and make a plan, we find more money. So I say you get a raise, you get an increase because you're not spending $600 a month on eating out. Now you have it down to 2. There's an extra $400 right there. And if you think that's unreasonable, it's not. People are spending a lot of money eating out. So that's one way, is becoming aware and then setting a boundary so that you can do something else with that $400 a month. That's important to you.
And I can just only imagine that by just putting attention to your money, where attention goes, energy flows. I can only imagine that yeah.
Yeah, we just kind of don't look at it, right? Think it's all going to be okay if we don't look at it, but it's not. It's getting worse and worse. Oh, you're muted, Maria. She might be having the same problem trying to unmute. Still muted. Okay. Oh, there we go.
There we go. Am I here? Okay. Yeah. I was going to try sign language. I do know a little bit. What I heard you say loud and clear, you said you get to tell your money what to do.
Absolutely.
Amazing. I mean, that's like, okay, we just turn the tides. It's like now I am in control of money as opposed to the other way around. And you said you do that by making a plan. What would be like the first 1 or 2 things that we could do to start that plan now that you have given us permission to tell our money what to do?
Well, you want to write all the things down, right? What are your monthly bills? What are your monthly expenses? And then you get to say, well, now what are the things, if I have extra money, what else can I do? What would I want to do? And then you just add them in. You make a line item. You put it on the plan. Put it in the playbook of life, as Daryl would say.
That's right. I think we could have a big playbook here between the three of us.
We
Fantastic.
could, we could. So if anything anybody said to you just hit home, we will put all our information in the replay of the video so you guys can go back and click on it and get those links and connect with us some more. Um, we want to thank you guys so much for taking the time out of your day. We know it's busy and we have a ton of stuff to do this week. So do I. So we appreciate you guys being here. You guys can contact any one of us, Maria, Daryl, Donette. Uh, let us help you make 2023 your best year trifecta. So
Big
all
year
yes,
trifecta.
and I also want to say, if you know somebody that can benefit from this, we are actually going to do this live again today at 4:30. So go to Daryl Gurney's Facebook page and you'll find us there. Thank you guys so much for being here.